Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Better Call Saul Season 3, Episode 3. So, like I talked about, I did manage to watch this in the same week as the last one, I got to see it a little sooner, which is exciting. I just had one hell of an experience trying to get set up to record, by the way, guys. Just to vent for a second. So, I have this table I have underneath me to rest my arms on because it's much more comfortable. I used to rest my arms on my legs when I watched, and I take notes on my phone about the show and stuff, and just use the stylus to write as I'm watching and stuff like that. So it's nice to have it on there. So I have a tablecloth on it, but the tablecloth doesn't like cover it completely. I mean, it does, and then it has some overhang off the side. While I move my light, I have a light like right there, where you can see it lighting up my arm. I placed it on the tablecloth without realizing it, and because I usually move this table behind me when I'm done recording, and I grabbed the table, moved it over, and all of a sudden the light almost tipped over, and I was like, "Whew, close call. That would have sucked." And then I put the table down, and I had my phone half off the desk, and the table hit the phone, and the phone fell to the floor. Luckily, it didn't crack or anything. It's not too high of a fall. It has a case on it, and the surface that it fell on isn't like hard. It has some give when things hit it. So luckily, all those things together kept it from getting damaged. But I was just like, Jesus Christ! I almost knocked the light over, and then I knocked my phone over. But two things to be extra careful of in the future now. But anyway, sorry for the rant. Last episode on Better Call Saul, we had some crazy stuff happen. We figured out Chuck's plan, which was to just the recording was simply to piss off Jimmy enough to get him to commit a crime he could charge him on, since he couldn't charge him on the crime of replacing the numbers and everything. So we're gonna see the fallout of that this episode, hopefully, or the start to the fallout. I don't know. And then on Mike's side of things, we had some crazy shit. We had Los Pollos Hermanos show up, with Gus showing up, and Gus knew immediately what he was up to, sent him out into the desert with a phone, and called it the second he got there. Oh, and we didn't get to see the conversation yet, and that's all I want to see. So, yeah, guys, I am hyped to watch this. I kept the episode minimized this time because I will say last episode I managed to read a little bit of the description, just like passing glances while I was talking. It's just like I couldn't help myself, so I made sure I kept the episode minimized. So now I have it ready. All right, let's get started, guys, shall we? We're going to start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. I did think a little bit more. I talked in the discussion last episode about like how I shouldn't have read the title, and I did have like one little epiphany to the possibility of like sunk costs. Is if Jimmy gets away with this and all the money they wasted on, like HHM wasted on trying to get him, and he just gets away with it, could look bad on Chuck kind of thing, but like sunk costs. But it's just an out there theory as to why the episode title is called that. Anyway. More truck stuff. With a new driver, because the other one's dead and buried, I believe, right? Ah, this is Los Pollos' truck. Alto. What's with the shoes? Just... The other shoe dropped. It's symbolic for what's happening to Jimmy. Nailed it. Oh, yes! Starting off strong with this. I love how Mike just answers, yeah. Oh, that's his voice. Oh, is he here? Alright. Oh, are we gonna see him face to face? Just throws the phone away. Nice. I mean, makes sense. Just a burner anyway, most likely. From both directions. There's only one right there. And the other one comes from behind, I'm guessing. Kind of a power move, too, having him, like, boxed in here. How did he not see the car on the way in? If it was sitting there waiting, where did they put it? Maybe behind a sign like he did one time or something? Oh, that's a no escape route parking, too, or attempt. He did come in person. Alright. At this time. Did he do it for the innocent person? Yup. That's what I was thinking. Yep. Hmm. Steal more money. Hmm. Interesting. Oh, so good. I love those two together. That was fantastic. Yeah. He's gonna get arrested and he knows it. Not gonna be a very good one. It's good that he's staying there to, like, if he knows he's being arrested and he's staying here to just be taken in, that'll look better for him, right? A little bit, anyway. I mean, it doesn't change what he did. You can wait inside. Hmm. I mean, he has a point. Jimmy's the only one that has been backing him up from... Yeah, went smoothly and everything. Didn't even have to... Uh, didn't have to show us him getting in the car and stuff. Interesting. There's like string wrapped around the bottom of that ring. I don't know much about jewelry. I don't wear any. I wonder the reason for it. All right. That fuck. This fucker. This guy trying to get that spot. Yeah, he pretty much knew that. Yeah, I don't know if that would really work. If that'd really be a good idea or not. Can you get like more charges pressed against you if you punch someone in prison? Like, could that person press charges? It's still assault, right? Even though it's against a prisoner, it's not like they have no rights. I never really thought about that in TV shows when like they throw punches like that. I mean, I guess if a prisoner reports another prisoner to get him like more time, that's probably something that other prisoners would like fuck you up for, right? Did she sleep in the office? Coffee. Fitness. Oh, with all that work she does, she finds the time to, Oh, wait. Did she literally just go there to shower? Or did she exercise and then shower? Oh. Does he know that Jimmy's arrested yet? Well, yeah, she doesn't know. Is she gonna come represent him? I like the little. There's a little bit of 5 o'clock shadow there. Not quite, but a little bit. I think that's a little more than he normally has, right? That guy looks like a swell guy. To his left. No, his right. Our left. I have a feeling Kim's gonna be here. Probably recognizes. Yep. 18 months. Wow. Yep. Alright. She's like trying to lean forward to listen. 2,500. That's a decent chunk for someone who. I mean, I don't know how much he's making doing elder law. I mean, obviously Kim will probably help if he needed it. He might not need it. Yeah. Hmm. No. All right. Not kind of scary that she just says okay and that's it. Probably more hell to pay later. The edges that he ripped some of the paint off of. She seems nice, though. Where are we now? Where are we now? Man, I had strep throat so many times as a kid. Seems like a nice guy that's not tied up in any kind of illegal business with Hector or anything, right? The revenge. Oh, it's a Mike thing. Hmm. A package in grams. Is it just shit? Chickens. Alright, Mike. Some kind of plan with a bag of shit, or at least what I think is a bag of shit. Maybe it's not. I guess we'll find out. It's just balancing everything. Don't drop it. Oh god. This guy's comb over. His eyes when he shoved that chip in as well. Looking at his what he has versus what Jimmy's got. Seem like them crunchy fries. It makes me want fries. Puts his shit down. Hmm. Is it? That's fair. Huh. Bringing in someone. That ruined some of your plans, Jimmy. Guy just wanted Jimmy's lunch. Nope. That guy. So obsessed with that. I mean, I guess, good job. He kind of wants it. I can understand his mentality of kind of being like pokey about it and like kind of have like because he was jealous at first, right? And then he sees how the mighty has fallen, as he said. You know, I can understand why someone would want to poke jabs at it. Usually, if I'm gonna do that kind of thing, I keep it in my head and I keep it to myself. Where I think like because everyone has those thoughts where they're like jealous at some point and then something like bad happens to the person or whatever, and you're just like, heh, good, kind of thing. Like, everyone has those thoughts, but I usually never will voice it or anything like that. Especially to the person themselves. Alright. We saw the shoes in the start of the episode falling. Interesting. He's tying them together. Alto sign. Oh, shit. Okay. So, what was in that bag was not poop, it was drugs. Right? That's what he just shoved in there, was like a pouch of cocaine, and that's why he said how many grams. Will he one-shot it, guys? No. I like the little like hesitation before he walked forward. He's thinking in his head like, fuck. Hey. Okay. So, shoes with seemingly cocaine in them up on wires. Why? All right. I want my brother to go to jail. Interesting. I wonder if that's gonna. Once again, it could look real bad at him if they're like, oh yes, because of the guy pressing the charges. What are you trying to get there? What's his plan? Is like I couldn't tell there if Chuck is going back a little bit on what he wanted or if Chuck is just if this is all part of the plan since the beginning, right? Okay. This guy gonna be like, hey look, those are some nice shoes up there. The new driver? Sorry, dude. You're dead next. Oh, there's two this time. Ah. And has a gun ready. I don't want that shit happening again. Mike's gonna have to deal with two people if he wants to take this shit on. That must have went through Mike's head, though, that they'd bolster security. Okay, so... shoes... What are they doing here? Storing their weapons. Shot in the air, scare the shit out of them. Oh my god, is he gonna line them up? Why the repeated shots? Make them lower their guard? Or make them... Huh. It could be some kind of conditioning. The first time they flinched, the second time they were worried, and then the third time they were like, hey, it's just hunters. And then, like, the fourth time, they walked back. Okay. Make it so they didn't care all those other shots for that one right there, that specific one, right? Hmm. Interesting. And then they go to the border and they're gonna smell drugs. The doggies are gonna get a whiffsies. Don't litter. Good doggy. Alright. Messed up another shipment. God, Mike's so smart. Alright. Oh. What does that mean? Okay, so that's a good thing. Okay. Damn. Nope. This is part of Chuck's plan. Is that him guessing or does he know? Yep. Hmm. Huh. You guys can figure this out. Hmm. There it is. She's already invested so much in him, she can't let him go now. Alright. Oh shit. That is it, guys, for episode 3. Sorry. I friggin' coughed something up and then it didn't come all the way up and it messed me up. I still don't think it's like there. Ugh. But that was a great episode. Holy crap. I'm gonna sneeze. Ugh, I'm all messed up. Yeah. I wrote so much stuff down, guys. It was great. I loved it. So basically, I guess, interesting. Okay. So first off, talk about Mike, because Mike's stuff is, I love the talking bit with Gus. The rest of the episode was pretty simple for him. I mean, it was smart, the plan and everything. So let's talk about that. Gus and Mike, we had that conversation. They met face to face. Very cool. I think that this is like, I didn't expect it to go this way. I didn't expect Hector to be a rival to Gus, but he still had enough respect for his rival to place his tracker and make sure that Hector didn't die. So there's something about the rivalry. There's something about Hector staying alive that is important for Gus, but not his business staying alive. So, yeah, I'm really curious what Gus is going for, but I love that it ended up being this, like, mutual understanding of Gus, like, not really saying, but implying that, you know, you hit another truck and it will really mess him up, kind of thing. And Mike was able to pick up on those signs and everything. So yeah, just really interesting. I like that the start of their relationship isn't anything like overly hostile, and I think Mike might have appreciated, like, after dealing with Hector's threats against family and, you know, Tuco's just instant to violence, I think that Mike kind of respected the way that Gus carried himself and handled that situation. And I think that's why he's okay with doing this. And I think that's like a good way to start onto, you know, like, because like I said, I'm pretty sure in Breaking Bad, Mike was kind of working for Gus a little bit. I don't know if he was like full on, but he might have been doing some jobs every now and then. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Mike that gets them in contact in Breaking Bad. So just very interesting. I loved the way that conversation went. It's really cool seeing Gus again. He looks good. Like, he looked a lot older in The Boys. So it's either just a lot of makeup work. He does still, I feel like, look older here than he does in Breaking Bad, I believe. I haven't seen Breaking Bad in a bit. But he looks way older than he looks here in when we saw him in The Boys, that same actor. So I wonder if they either did some, like, de-aging software or if they did just a lot of makeup or something to make him look younger, right? I mean, unless they purposely made him look older in the boys, but I don't know. Either way, um, but yeah, just very cool stuff. And then we had Mike go off, and apparently he's gonna. I guess this time he's not in it to. This time he's not in it to take money, right? This time he's in it to have the drugs taken away. Like it doesn't. He doesn't want the drugs, right? He just wants to hurt Hector's business. So what he does is he gets some cocaine, right, or whatever. It's a white powder. I'm guessing cocaine. Shoves it in the shoe, throws the shoe up there where they drive past. This time they didn't even have to show us like the path. Either Mike already knew the path or he watched for a few days to make sure that they drive this path, right? And then he throws the shoes up there. When they are going to drop their guns and everything, he shoots. They get down scared and everything. He shoots again. They start questioning whether it's hunters. He shoots again. He's like, okay, it must be hunters. And then as they're walking away, he shoots again, and they don't even flinch. And that's when, like, that's really when I started to realize, like, oh, I'm pretty sure they're, like, he's, like, conditioning them to be, like, fine with hearing the gunshots. And then when he finally takes that last shot to shoot the shoe, they don't even think twice about it. And then the cocaine leaks on the truck and all that. It's a very smart plan. And then they go to the border, and obviously the dogs smell it. Excuse me. I love it. I love how simple it was and how smart it was. But yeah, they have two guys guarding it now. Which I guess the last guy had a gun and then he dropped it off and then went to the border, right? So really that's no different. Them having guns. Now one of them had like a shotgun, so I think they are just a little bit more armed, and I don't know, I think that guy might have had it like on his back, you know? I don't know that he had it just like sitting on his lap. Maybe he did. I can't remember the positioning of the gun back then for the first guy. But yeah, that was interesting seeing. I mean, because obviously it makes sense. They get hit once. They don't want to get hit again, so bring two guys. But yeah, very clever. I love it. So, I mean, obviously that truck is gonna get searched like crazy. I don't know where they hid the drugs. Last time the money was in the wheel. I don't know if that's where the drugs are too, and if they'll find them. I imagine they will. They're probably gonna tear that truck apart to find the shit, right? Also, I imagine it's really gonna hurt the business, right? Like, I imagine Hector's gonna have a hard time. Like, they're not going to be able to just bring the same trucks for the same company in and out, right? Unless Hector running that business can somehow convince them that, like, someone else was doing this through their trucks or something. I don't know. So I imagine just bringing stuff in this method isn't going to work anymore. So I'm really curious. Like, unfortunately, we don't follow Hector, so we might only get brief glimpses of the fallout of this from Mike's point of view. So we might not really get to like know their business side of things. But yeah, either way, very cool stuff from Mike's side of the story. As for Jimmy's side, yes, he was arrested. Props to Jimmy for just staying and letting himself get arrested. That's something, you know, they always say that looks better for you than if you try to, you know, avoid it, run, hide, or something. You know, it always looks better that he's just like faces it, owns up to it, and stuff like. Granted, he still pled not guilty, but he didn't try to like avoid the police in any way. So, the charges, there's one felony in there for 18 months, and then two others, which was like the assault and the like I can't remember what the last one was, like property damage or something like that. Both of them 6 months. So he's looking at a total of, what'd that be? That'd be 24, 30 months. So yeah, that's like 2.5 years, right? If he were to get like the full sentence kind of thing. Um, but yeah, it was interesting seeing like that guy that he used to go up against and kind of being a little pokey at the fact that he was arrested and he doesn't have his job at Davis and Maine anymore and stuff like that. But then also being a little bit genuine too, right? Like he seemed like he hoped for the best for Jimmy, and it's probably good that Jimmy got the heads up that it wasn't going to be anyone that he knew, right? And it kind of sucks that, as Jimmy said at the end of the episode, like this is potentially gonna go up against the bar, right? The bar association, and a lot of those people there are friends of Chuck's. So it's basically going to be Chuck and his friends versus Jimmy. But obviously Jimmy doesn't get any help when it comes to his side of things with like the court stuff, because all the people that he knows and talks to are excluded from the trial and everything, which obviously that makes sense, but that should be the same way for the bar association, but obviously it doesn't work that way. So I guess what Jimmy needs to do is, if he accepted the PPD and had the felony, trying to talk it down with the bar would be pretty much impossible because of Chuck. So they are gonna fight it. And I mean, he like he said, he's boxed in a corner. If he tries to fight it and he loses completely, he goes to jail. But if he just gives in to this PPD, then he, for one, has to be on like good behavior for a year, or else it's insta jail, is what he said. So let's talk about that for a minute. So basically, that was my first thought. Was I thought what Chuck was going for, I didn't really think about the bar association side of things, and admitting guilt, meaning he'd have to go face the bar about that too. But like, I thought, my initial thought was, okay, so Chuck is trying to get Jimmy to accept this PPD because Chuck is scared that Jimmy's going to get off if they take this to trial, right? And he's going to get away with it. And he wants Jimmy to go to jail. So bait Jimmy into doing the PPD, and then as soon as he goes to jail, or as soon as he's like out, he'd probably try different things, kind of like he just did with the tape, to get Jimmy to commit some kind of crime in order to make him go to jail. And that way they don't have to risk it in a trial. It just like guarantees that he goes to jail. That was my initial thought of what Chuck was trying to do. But it seems like Jimmy, at least this is what Jimmy thinks Chuck is thinking, right? Is just try to get him to admit the guilt through the PPD so then he can take the license away. So I'm really curious about how this is going to play out, because if Chuck is expecting Jimmy to take the PPD, like, I'm also trying to, now that like I've seen Chuck thinking steps ahead with his like tape plan, I'm like starting to think like steps ahead, trying to think of the steps ahead that Chuck is thinking of. So I'm like, is Chuck expecting Jimmy to take the PPD? And then if Jimmy doesn't take the PPD, is Chuck gonna be like, oh shit, like, I didn't want this, I didn't want my brother to go to jail, and like, will it affect the trial and him appearing for it and stuff like that? Like, will it have any impact of that? Or is it something where Chuck threw the PPD out there expecting Jimmy to expect it's a trap from Chuck and have Jimmy decline it, kind of thing, in order to use like somehow declining it against him? I don't know. Like, I was just thinking, like, did Chuck plan ahead for Jimmy like declining this, or is he just expecting, like, I'm just curious if Chuck is going to be surprised by Jimmy not taking this and fighting it instead. I don't know. But certainly certainly interesting. Uh, the jumping back a little bit, the conversation between Chuck and Jimmy. Chuck saying that he thinks that Jimmy needs this because, someday he's gonna like really do the wrong thing and he's gonna ruin himself or someone else, kind of thing. It's interesting that he says that. I wonder if that's any kind of like, I don't know. I can't imagine. No. I was just trying to draw a connection to like Breaking Bad again, and I was thinking like how Saul Goodman had a big hand in helping Walter and everything that he did, right? So I wonder if like that's supposed to be like, I don't know, leading up to that or something, or I wonder if it could also be foreshadowing that I just thought of for the black and white scenes. Whatever causes Jimmy to have to go away from being a lawyer and working at Cinnabon and stuff like that, and being like a little nervous about that one guy that came in as if he like got under the wrong person's skin, kind of thing, and now he's on the run, is like the vibes I got early on with those scenes. I wonder if it's like foreshadowing, like Chuck talking here is foreshadowing for whatever that is down the line, kind of thing. So, but yeah, I kind of, as much as I love following Jimmy and I'm rooting for Jimmy, so what Chuck did made me not hate Chuck, but I'm just like, fucking Chuck, and so it's like, it's one of those things where I kind of understand, though, because him talking about like, you need to do this for you, like, I think it'll be good for you to go to jail for a bit or whatever. He didn't specifically say go to jail because he's trying to do the PPD thing now and everything. That's why he didn't say it back then. But I had a family member that, had an issue with drugs and just wasn't leading the greatest life, and I wanted them to, obviously I wanted them to do better and fix that, and no matter how many times they went to rehab and different stuff like that, it just could never get through to them, and eventually they were like the driver for an armed robbery and went to jail for like 6 months or something like that. The person didn't die or anything, right? Like it wasn't anything where like the person during the armed robbery got shot. It was just, I think the person just had like a knife, and I don't even think they pulled it out. I think they just had it on them while they did the robbery. I don't think it was anything like a gun aimed at the person's head or anything crazy like that. But either way, got arrested for being in the car at the time, and stuff like that. Went to jail for like 6 months or something like that, I believe it was. And I had that thought that Chuck had, where I'm like, sure, it sucks that this family member is going to jail, but I think it's a chance for them to get clean, think about what they've done, and maybe change a bit. And luckily, it's been a while, and there was so much shit that happened. I can't remember if it was right after jail or if it was like at some point after the jail time they did get better and have been better for a while since, and it's really good. So yeah, but yeah, so the whole point of that is I sympathized a bit with Chuck's talking about like, I think this is good for you kind of thing, because I've had that feeling too, and stuff like that. So but yeah, interesting. So I guess we know, I wrote down like Chuck's hesitance back when he's like, let's try something a little different, that he said to Hay. And I was like, okay, is that him like rethinking things because of what Jimmy said? Because I mean, Jimmy was trying to be an asshole, but what Jimmy said is kind of true. Like, if Chuck has another episode and he ends up in a hospital, right? Jimmy's always the one that fights to not have him be committed and stuff like that. And next time, it's very much possible that whoever is working for him at the time isn't going to fight for him, right? Like Jimmy does. and he's gonna say like, "Oh yeah, doctors, whatever you think is best," and then they're gonna commit him, and he's gonna be done. He's gonna be in some place where they, I mean, I'm sure it's not gonna be like a terrible place. They're probably gonna try to help him and everything, but you know, he doesn't want that kind of life, so uh he's gonna be somewhere where he hates. And I think Jimmy really does have a point that Chuck is kind of burning a bridge here. I mean, Jimmy did pull a big like fuck you to Chuck though, so I do understand why Chuck is doing what he's doing too. It's like uh it's really interesting having both sides, like me understanding and everything for the most part, but it's a real tense situation. But also on that note, Chuck said like without too many like I can go and appear before court for a short time without too many inconveniences to the court, right? But that means that there are some inconveniences to the court. So it like I feel like it might be a helpful situation for Jimmy if the person charging him looks a little crazier. And if Chuck goes in there being like, yeah, we have to like turn off the lights and like stuff like this, I think it will look a lot better for Jimmy being like, you know, he could even use that to his advantage and be like, you know, I don't know how he's going to try to plead this down, right? Because there were witnesses and everything, but kind of question Chuck's ability to like take care of himself and stuff like that with needing this like hired help and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if he could somehow weave a story that makes it so him breaking into the house was kind of justified, but I don't know. There's also the witness problem too, where, you know, they saw him charge in with anger rather than like charge in being fearful of Chuck's life. Because it'd be one thing if it was like, oh, I feared for my brother's life, so I kicked in the door kind of thing. But there were witnesses there, so yeah, I'm really curious as to where this trial goes, and I'm sure it's gonna be, you know, like when, because usually in a trial they get to, like, each side gets to question the witness. So if Chuck goes up to be a witness, right? I wonder what kind of stuff Jimmy will hammer him with the, you know, his, you know, situation and everything, because Jimmy has always been supportive and everything of it, even though it does sound kind of crazy. But I wonder if there will be a point where Jimmy, like, if in this trial, if it does get to trial, Jimmy is a little bit more, like, angry with him and does, like, a, you know, kind of pokes at his brother's supposed illness and like it's like nothing and fake and not real and stuff like that. I don't know. Just it's going to be interesting, I think, with these two brothers duking it out in court. I'm really curious to see it, if, like I said, if it does make it to court. But obviously I can't keep it out of my mind where, like, I know Saul Goodman exists, so unless Jimmy loses his license as Jimmy McGill, like, but then gets his license, can get a license under the name Saul Goodman, that'd be kind of weird. I can't imagine that would really work. So, like, so that leads me to believe that I imagine he doesn't lose his license, right? But even though I have that in my mind, I'm still extremely excited to see the journey and to see how he gets out of this one. Assuming he does, you know, maybe it's something where he does lose his license, but somehow either gets it back, or somehow Saul Goodman is, like, faked and not even really, like, legal entirely. But with the commercials, I imagine he must be, right? But yeah. Anyway, love the episode, guys. Cannot wait to watch more as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon as usual. Link in the description below. It has all the rest of Better Call Saul. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, you can see the rest of this show. All however many seasons there are up until completion. Check it out if you're interested. And it supports the channel, what I do here. Very much appreciate it. Other content on there too that you get access to. Thank you guys so much. It should be popping up on the screen, and I will see you guys. Oh, excuse me. in my future reactions. Bye-bye.